All right, shalom, shalom. All right, before I get started, I want to give all praise and honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakah, Kodash. All right, double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, and shalom, wakasah, lahabakyar, which means peace and mercy to the elect. Throughout the four corners, wherever you may be. All right, I'm the brother Mark from the branch of GMS Cleveland, coming back at you with another video. Lord willing, to be edifying to whomever may be watching. And just wanted to get this word steadfast. All right, just Google the simple definition. It says steadfast definition. It says resilient or dutifully firm. It says an unwavering, right? And then when you jump down, it says what does it mean if someone is steadfast? A steadfast person is loyal, firm, and unwavering in their beliefs. It says purpose or support. It says refusing to change or give up, like someone standing firmly in place. All right, they are dependable, resilient. It's constant, showing great dedication to a person, cause, or principle, often with a claim and sturdy nature. All right, and these are the characteristics that the believers, will show forth. All right, it will show forth the loyalty, the firmness, unwavering. All right, because we understand, what the Lord did for us. We understand, the scriptures. We understand the purpose. The mission. All right, and that word steadfast, it came to mind because I was reading 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. It says, therefore, my beloved brethren, it says, be ye steadfast, unmovable. It says, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So once again, all right, we have to be steadfast. We have to be firm, loyal, all right, unmovable, all right, unwavering, you know what I'm saying? And those are some of the things that the definition broke down, all right, of the word steadfast. All right, because there, as the time dwindles down, as we get closer to the kingdom and closer to the downfall of this place, it's going to get harder. All right, there's going to be certain things that's going to take place that's going to test our faith more and more. So we have to remain steadfast. We have to remain, firm. All right. And there's a scripture when you go to Matthew, the 7th chapter, which I'm not going to get it. You can read it on your own. Gave that, the scriptures the verses that talk about, matter of fact, because I'm drawing a blank right now, but let me just go ahead and get it. This is like 25 or something on there. This is Matthew 7 and 24. It says, therefore, whosoever hear these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. All right, and us, that been in this thing for however many years the Lord had you in. You have to make sure you get a solid foundation. Make sure you get those. You get rooted. All right, so that way when times of trouble will come, or certain things that come to test your faith, all right, you will have that firmness and that foundation to remain firm, remain steadfast. All right, so that way you don't, fall into that parable about the ones that fell to the wayside. All right, you want to remain firm, remain steadfast. So it says verse 25. All right, and that rock will be, what Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, they are the rock that you build, your foundation on. Making sure you have those names first and foremost, and you pray to those names and have faith in those names, man. All right, and casting your care upon the Lord, understanding that everything that happens is ultimately orchestrated by Him. Therefore, you can't be too concerned about the what ifs or the bad things that take place. Just know that the Lord ordained it for whatever reason He sees fit. It says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not. It says, for it was founded upon a rock. It says, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it, man. So you don't want to be that individual that builds your house upon sand. All right, meaning you don't have a sturdy foundation. You wasn't rooted. You came into this thing, and you learned a few things, but you never got deeply rooted and involved and involved into what it is you believed in. All right, I call them surface level Israelites. All right, you don't want to be that. All right, make sure you get rooted. Make sure you understand. Eat the whole roll. Read those stories of the history of our forefathers, how they went through perilous times, and very detrimental times, to bring forth this word to preach. You read about those stories about Paul, how he had to get let down, in by a window, in a basket, in a window, just for teaching the word. How the disciples were persecuted, thrown in jail, thrown in prison, beaten, killed. All right, all because they were teaching His word. These are things that Lord willing, we deliver from. But all in all, it's just things that have to be taken into account. As this devil goes down, he'll have more. Those horns start to show more, and he'll be persecuting the church more and more. All right, But get this last scripture, man. Because certain things happening within the churches. When I say churches, I'm talking about the camps, the brothers. And then it's unfortunate, but it's stuff that's beyond our control. Anything we can do for one another is pray for one another. Comfort one another with these lessons, and these studies, sit downs, and camping. But ultimately, all in all, is just the Lord's will that still will prevail. Like I said, whether it's good or bad. This is Hebrews 10:23. It says, "Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for He is faithful that promised. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works." So, you want to hold fast your profession, our profession being what is truth. All right. And then the scripture says without wavering. And remember, one of the definitions of steadfast was unwavering. All right. And then scriptures also say, what about a double-minded man? All right. It's unstable in all his ways. You don't want to waver. You don't want to be unstable. All right. It says, verse 25, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. All right, so you want to give that exhortation. Lift up the feeble hands and weak knees, and ultimately, like I said, exhort your brother. You know what I'm saying? Tell him, hey, give him words of comfort. Let him know that we're gonna be out of this place soon, and that this is not gonna be a forever thing where we just down here doing videos until we got grades. Man. All right. Jumping down. Let me see. This is 35. Cast not away therefore your confidence, which have great recompense of reward. For ye have need of patience, that after you have done the will of Yahweh, ye might receive the promise. All right, so keeping in mind that this is a thing where it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And just understanding the end result or the end goal. End goal is ultimately the kingdom, and Lord willing, some of us will receive those physical crowns for standing from the Lord Himself, for standing firm, against this wicked system. All right. It says 37. It says, for yet a little while he that shall come will come and will not tarry, man. Yeah. So the scriptures say they will tarry, wait for it, man. All right. So keeping in mind that it seems sometimes that the Lord is taking longer than we expected, but you just know that He not gonna tarry. All right, he's gonna come at His appointed time. We just have to make sure we keep in watch and keep it up to date with the times. All right. It says verse 38, and finish it off with these last two verses. Now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. All right, don't draw back. A big part of drawing back is what losing your faith and going back into the world. That's drawing back. All right, don't be that individual. Pray, for more more understanding, more mercy. All right, and pray the Lord keep us. You know what I'm saying? Because the world, going back into the world, that should be the furthest thing from your mind. That should definitely not be an option. All right. It's just 39. It says, "But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, which is destruction, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul." So we ain't like the ones that going back into the world and feel like they missed out. Because if you go back into the world, that's ultimately what you didn't understand what this thing is a part of, and you ultimately gave up, and like the scripture say, the cares and affairs of the world choked them. All right, and ultimately it's gonna lead what to your destruction, because that's likened unto you casting the Lord off. All right, and open and casting them to an open shame, as the scriptures speak about. But like the latter part of this verse says, it says, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. So that's what it is, man. We are the ones that believe. Lord, when I say we, I'm talking about the believers, and I'm talking about the men, the brethren. We wholeheartedly believe in this thing, and Lord willing, we get delivered along with the rest of the men, women, and children that wholeheartedly believe on these scriptures, and I want to see, uh, you know, this place get destroyed and the kingdom be ushered in. With that, I'm saying shalom.